Well, nearly 9,000 BC Hydro customers on southern Vancouver Island are waking up in the dark this morning after a powerful windstorm swept across the south coast.
And as CTV's Penny Daflos reports, people living in the Cowichan Valley were among the hardest hit.
A loud and blustery day on Vancouver Island saw city crews out in full force and even prompted this warning in Sook.
If you can, avoid coming out onto the roads.
The hardest hit area, Duncan and the Cowichan Valley.
I heard a crash and the tree came down.
Several residents stepped in to keep unsuspecting neighbors from high voltage wires struck down by falling trees.
It was bad. It was really windy. They said 90 clicks an hour, and I'd say it was probably close to that.
The wind was just blowing.
Yeah, it was crazy
It just
windy.
blowing.
Yeah.
And we figured we were outside on the patio and we were putting everything away because we had to hunker down. And we were hearing snapping in the forest behind us.
The destruction stretched south, police shutting down roads in Esquimalt as crews did their work.
At a peak, we saw nearly 50,000 customers on Vancouver Island without power.
The power outage forced some businesses to shut down, everyone needing patience to get around.
We are working hard to restore as much of the power as we can.
At Victoria's airport, travelers had an uncomfortable tale to tell.
Most of the way in was good, but right at the very end, just before we touched down, we got knocked around quite a bit. But thankfully, the pilot did a great job.
Despite the destruction, a bright spot in this storm. Photography buffs and storm lovers took to beaches and other scenic areas to marvel at Mother Nature.
This is amazing.
A beautiful but powerful start to the storm season. Penny Daflos, CTV News, Vancouver.
Wow, it's chilly out there. An update now on a story we brought you last month. Police have released a photo of one of the suspects involved in a string of robberies, mostly at Chevron gas stations. Surrey has been hit with 10 so-called smash and grabs since the end of September. Police say the men must have been using stolen vehicles to smash through store entrances. One of the suspects is described as being between 5 feet 9 inches tall and 6 feet 2 inches tall and under 200 pounds. Police believe the suspects are stealing cigarettes and selling them to an unidentified commercial buyer. Also in Surrey, a high school student is recovering from multiple stab wounds after allegedly being knifed by a classmate. Police say the victim was stabbed in the back during a grade 12 shop class at Princess Margaret Secondary. He was rushed to hospital, fortunately did not have to stay there long and is now back home. Police say the suspect fled the school on foot but was taken into custody a few hours later.
A man in his late 40s is being held under the Mental Health Act after police say he dumped 2 loaded handguns near a West Vancouver elementary school. Police and North Shore search and rescue crews scoured the area yesterday morning looking for the weapons. Classes weren't disrupted, but the school kept kids indoors throughout the morning and lunch hour. It all started Wednesday afternoon when a mentally disturbed and distraught man began pounding on neighborhood doors.
This guy was running down the street. He thought he was being chased. He was running into people's houses, asking for the police. He wanted to be helped. Yeah. And then he had 2 guns.
And at some point during his journey through this general area, he had discarded 2 loaded handguns, both 9mm pistols.
Police recovered the weapons in a backyard beside the school. The handguns are legally owned and registered, but the man may face firearms charges.
The cause of a garage fire in East Vancouver is still under investigation. This was the scene around 7 last night on East Pender near Glen. Nearly 20 firefighters responded to this blaze. They managed to get it under control quickly. No one was inside the garage. It appeared to be slated for demolition. Police in the interior weren't taking any chances when this semi hauling explosive materials caught fire. It was also carrying a full tank of diesel gas. Highway 1 outside Kamloops was shut down for about 3 hours yesterday. Nearby residents were evacuated. Fortunately, emergency crews got the fire under control and no one was hurt.
Canadians no longer have to give 30 days notice to cancel their internet, telephone or cable service. The CRTC says starting January 23rd, the notice period will be waived. This comes after the broadcast regulator got an earful from Canadians who wanted the 30-day rule scrapped. Last year, cell phone service providers were ordered to waive the notice period for cancellation.
An Australian TV cameraman on his way to cover a shooting ended up being carjacked by the suspected gunman, and the whole ordeal was caught on tape.
Mate, don't be a idiot. Don't be an idiot.
The alleged gunman had flagged the cameraman down, sobbing and surrendering. Then all of a sudden, he climbed behind the wheel and took off. The car chase ends when the suspect crashes into a gas station. Boom. Police had him cornered, and he still tried to escape. There he goes. The cameraman, of course, as all good cameramen do, kept rolling the whole time. It looks like they got him in the end there. Wow. That guy... You know, recently we had the Webster Awards here in Vancouver, you know, for BC. Whatever they have down in Australia, and I'm sure that guy's going to be the cameraman of the year.
Yeah, he said afterwards that he just really wanted to have a big drink. Can't blame him for that. That would have been pretty scary.
Yeah.